What's up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today I'm going to be doing something I don't think I've ever done before, but it is a trend that I've seen on YouTube for years now. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what I spend in a month as a 27-year-old who lives in Dallas, Texas, and makes approximately $20,000 per month. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down my exact spending habits, where I spend my money, where I choose not to spend my money, and so much more. So let's get started. So like I said in the intro to this video, I am 27 years old. I live in Dallas, Texas, and I make about $20,000 per month. Now, if you guys are interested in how I make my money and what my different revenue streams are, then I do have a handful of videos where I've talked about that exact same thing. So in this video, I'm not going to be covering how I make my money, but if you're interested in checking that out, I will include a link to that down in the description below. But what I want to focus on in this video is where I spend my money and where I spend my money on a month-by-month basis. Now, I like to think that I am pretty conservative with my spending, but I guess you guys will be the judge of that. So with that, let's dig in. So let's start off with housing and bills. This includes things like my mortgage payment, my utility payments, any sort of bills that I have on a recurring basis that is associated with my living situation. Now, I am fortunate to live in a fairly low-cost area. I live in Dallas, which is definitely becoming more and more expensive, but I'm not in an area like New York or LA, for example. Where I live is significantly cheaper than those two cities, but it is still significantly higher than some cheaper cities. The total amount of money that I spend per month on my mortgage and also my reoccurring bills totals out to be $1,075 per month. My mortgage makes up $750 of that, though my mortgage payment is actually $1,500, but I live with my fiance and we split the mortgage in half. So that means I pay $750 of it on a month-by-month basis. My gas, which just pretty much is just my heater and my water heater, takes up $50 per month approximately. It's a little bit higher in the winter. It is much lower in the summer whenever it's hot in Texas and there's no reason to have any sort of heat going anywhere. And then my electricity cost is about $100 per month. This is another one that is about an average, because in the summer my electricity cost is dramatically higher, like $300 per month because of the Texas heat, and you have to cool your house down with the heat. But then in the winter months, my electricity bill is extremely low, like $20 to $30 per month, because of the fact that you're not running your electricity. So my electricity bill fluctuates quite a lot on a month-by-month basis depending on the year and the season, but overall the average is about $100 per month. And then lastly is my water bill, which again goes up quite significantly in the summer, but the average is about $100 per month for the water bill as well. It is significantly less in the winter, it is more in the summer. Now, I live in a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house, and at this point, my career has unfortunately taken over the house, which I'm so fortunate that my fiance is so supportive of that. I have an office which takes up one of the bedrooms, which is where I work 99% of the time. The studio that I'm sitting in now takes up another one of the bedrooms. The dining room of my house is now a workout room, which we both use. And then we have one guest room, which actually is more like storage. So this entire house is basically encompassed by the things that are going on in our daily life, rather than the things that you actually use a house for. But because of the size of the house, as well as where it's located, my cost of living is relatively cheap considering what I get for the price. But again, that brings the total for housing and bills to $1,075 per month. Next is cars and car insurance. Now, this does not include any of my Turo vehicles, because all of those cars are under the business and they are not something that is coming out of my personal earnings, my personal bank account. Now, my month-by-month expenses for cars, insurance, gas, basically anything personal vehicle related comes out to a total of $120 per month, which is super low. My car payment is $0 per month because I drive a 1997 Toyota 4Runner that is 100% paid off. My gas cost is included in this overall cost, which is about $50 per month. My 4Runner gets horrible gas mileage. I do not like to drive at long distances because it has such horrible gas mileage. But fortunately for me, I don't really go anywhere. And whenever I do go somewhere, it's not that far. So I'm able to save on gas that way. But on average, it is about $50 per month to fill up my 4Runner. And lastly is the insurance, which is about $70 per month. Next is my health. So things like insurance, going to doctors, if I have like a personal trainer, anything like that that I would put into like the health and fitness category is what I will account account for here. Now, overall, on average, I spend about $250 per month on health-related things. And interestingly enough, none of that comes from insurance. I pay $0 per month in insurance because I do not have insurance. I was fortunate enough to be in my parents' insurance until I was 26. I then got kicked off my parents' insurance, and since then I've kind of just been rolling the dice, hoping for the best and hoping that I don't need insurance. I'm sure I will get it at some point in the future, but as of right now, I am a healthy 27-year-old. I don't really feel the need to rush into it. So my insurance costs for the month are $0 per month. My most expensive piece of this health and fitness category is my running coach, which is $125 per month. Now, I've never really mentioned it on this channel, but I have mentioned it on Instagram, and I'm sure you guys have seen me wear Ironman shirts on this channel as well. But I am a pretty avid endurance athlete. I love to work out, I love to run, I love to cycle. I'm a 2-time Ironman, a 7-time half Ironman. I've done about 3 or 4 marathons. I recently just did a 50-mile ultra marathon. So I love to run, and because of that, I do have a running coach that I pay $125 a month for. Basically, what this coach does is he just programs workouts for me every day, and then I simply do those workouts. And then he also consults with me on how to get faster, how to prepare for the next race, and how to just become a better runner. In my opinion, $125 for that is a price that I will gladly spend time and time again, and it is probably one of my best investments that I make on a month-by-month basis. But when you run a lot, you also have to buy a lot of tennis shoes, and even though I rock my old Converse on a day-to-day basis, I unfortunately have to buy expensive running shoes on a almost bi-monthly basis at this point. Now, I don't buy new running shoes every single month. I buy them about every other month, but whenever I buy them, they're close to $200 per pair, which makes it about $100 per month on buying new running shoes. And then the last item in this category is $25 per month being allocated to vitamin and supplements. Now, I'm not a huge vitamin person. I don't really take a ton of vitamins, but I am really big into supplements, specifically supplements that claim to help your cognitive abilities, so help your brain function more efficiently. So typically in the morning, I'll make a smoothie and I'll mix plant protein, reishi mushroom powder, lion's mane mushroom powder, and these things help me stay focused, they help me stay energized, but they can be a little bit pricey, and because of that, it ends up being about $25 per month on these types of supplements. Next is food. So me and my fiance have an agreement with our food. He pays whenever we go out to eat, and I pay whenever we eat at home. Now, for me and my fiance combined, we spend about $300 per month on food. Now, I don't really know if $300 per month is a lot for food for 2 people, but I do know that groceries and food is something that I don't typically skimp on. I will spend more money for good food, and this is definitely reflected in my grocery bill. Now, I am a vegetarian. I try to eat mostly vegan, which means I don't eat animal products, I don't eat dairy, I don't eat cheese, I don't eat meat. I stay away from all of that stuff. And so because of that, I buy a lot of organic vegetables, I buy a lot of tofu, and I also splurge on some of those vegetarian meat alternatives. Things like Beyond Meat, Beyond Sausage, like faux chicken, things like that are kind of my staple Kroger purchases, and those things can be pretty pricey. Fruits and vegetables are typically really reasonably priced, but once you start going into those processed veggie alternatives, those can be extremely expensive, especially for 1 or 2 people. And then though my fiance pays for whenever we go out to eat, because of the fact that I buy the groceries, there are still times that I will go out to eat with people other than my fiance, for example, my sisters, and I will pay in that instance. And because of that, I've allocated an extra $50 per month that goes into the category of going out to eat whenever I go out with somebody other than my fiance. So that brings my total food, grocery, out to eat bill to $350 per month. Next, we have my dogs. Now, I have 2 rescue dogs, Nico, who is a lab mix. He's probably about 5 or 6 years old. And then I have Scout, who is a pit bull, who is about 6 or 7 years old. Now, all things considered, Nico and Scout are extremely low maintenance. They don't have any health issues, really. They are extremely easygoing. They are not bougie. I am extremely fortunate. But all in, my cost on the dogs per month is about $200 per month. This includes dog food for both of them, and they have to eat different dog food because Nico, who is a very svelte dog who runs with me every day, has no problem staying lean, he gets to eat normal dog food, and Scout, on the other hand, who is more like a cat than a dog, has to go on special diet food because she puts on weight extremely quickly, and the doctor said that she is obese. So she's currently on a diet, and as a result has to eat extremely expensive dog food, which is $100 per month. month. Nico eats the cheap dog food, which is about $50 per month. In addition to the dog food, Scout has arthritis, and because of that, she has to take joint supplements, which average about $30 per month. And then I tacked on an extra $20 per month for things like bones, treats, and toys. Next is the entertainment category, which is extremely low. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I don't really do anything but work. I don't really have a whole lot of hobbies. I really love to work. I love what I do, and I also like to work out. And fortunately, both of those things are cheap to do. Working is a hobby that makes you money, and running and riding bikes and mountain biking is something that is extremely cheap once you've gotten the right equipment, which I already have. And so because of that, my month-by-month expenses are extremely affordable. But on a month-by-month basis, I pay for a Netflix subscription, which is about $15 per month. Now, the way that me and my family do it is all of us pay for one subscription, and then we let each other borrow it. So my parents do Disney Plus, my sister does Amazon Prime, I do Netflix, my fiance does Hulu, my parents also have HBO, and then we all just share with each other. That way you're not spending $80 a month on TV subscription services that you'll never use. So for me, I'm in charge of the Netflix, which costs about $15 per month. In addition to Netflix, I do have a subscription to both Spotify and Apple Music, and that comes out to about $19 per month whenever you take into account that Spotify is about $10 per month, and I bought the yearly subscription of Apple Music, which is $99 per year. That brings the grand total for entertainment to just about $35 per month. The next expense, and arguably the biggest one that I have, is my house. Now, this isn't being accounted for in the house and bills category because of the fact that it's not really a necessity, but it is something that we're doing to the house on a month-by-month basis, and that is $1,000 being allocated to remodeling my house. Now, I was fortunate enough to buy my childhood home from my parents a few years ago. And whenever I did that, part of the agreement was that I would buy it, but I had to fix it up myself, or I had to at least pay to fix it up. Now, the house was built in the 70s, and the house showed that. The house was extremely outdated. It had all of the same fixtures, cabinets, carpets, everything that it had whenever I lived in the house in the 90s. And over the last 5 years, I've been slowly but surely fixing it up. Now, whenever I was in my early 20s and I didn't have a ton of money to work with, I was just working very slowly, task by task, trying to get the house remodeled. But over the years, as I've started to make more money, I've been able to allocate more money and more time to this project. And because of that, as we sit here today, I probably spend about $1,000 a month remodeling this house. We're probably at this point about 75% done, but we still have things like the master bathroom, the master bedroom, the guest room, and the guest bathroom. But the house is getting there slowly but surely. For example, we are almost done with what was our dining room, but is now our workout room, which we remodeled into a full-fledged workout space, which I'm super excited about. But all in, this costs about $1,000 per month. But of course, once we are done remodeling, this cost will go away. Now, the last category is just impulse miscellaneous purchases. Now, I keep my impulse purchases to a minimum. I like to think that I am pretty restrained with my purchases, though that wasn't always the case. In fact, whenever I was younger, I was notorious for buying ridiculous things on a very consistent basis. But fortunately for me, I have somewhat grown out of that habit, and now I think I've kept my impulse purchases to a minimum of about $200 per month. But even my impulse purchases today aren't quite as ridiculous as they were back in my early 20s and my late teens. So that brings my total monthly spending to about $2,295. So all in all, I spend about 10% of my income and I save and invest the other 90%. Now, I really accredit my low spending and my low cost of living to the fact that I have not adjusted my lifestyle at all as I've started making more money. Now, the last year and a half of my life has been really significant for me as far as income potential goes. My income has doubled over the last 7 months, and with that, you oftentimes see people online who will start adopting more expensive habits. And though I will admit that I won't hesitate as much as I used to buy a new pair of running shoes or to buy something that I really want, I've really made a conscious effort to keep my standard of living the same. I live in the same house I lived in whenever I was in my early 20s. I don't plan on moving anytime soon. I still drive a paid off 1997 Toyota 4Runner, 315,000 miles. And again, I don't plan on changing that anytime soon. And these things and more is really why I've been able to keep my cost of living so low in relation to my total monthly income. But like always, you guys, if you have any questions, comments, if you have anything to add, then make sure to leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on my spending habits. Where do you think I spend too much money? Where do you think I don't spend enough money? What are your thoughts on my spending habits? I would love to hear it, so make sure to leave a comment. And while you guys are at it, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video.